99, home of your new country, your all-time favorites. You can watch this segment over the next couple of minutes on our Facebook pages, including on the Hot Country Hits Facebook page, as well as the WMOM Facebook page. We are streaming this on our YouTube channel and as well over the radio on both frequencies. And of course, your smart devices like your Amazon Alexa, your Google Home, and I Take a Breath, and at hotcountryhits.com and WMOM.FM. Drew Dostal, how do you feel about being on the air on all of those devices this morning? You okay with that?
That's mind-blowing, Chris. We're broadcasting across the USA today.
I believe it. Technology is incredible these days. But we appreciate both of you coming in for the morning today. Drew Dostal, president of Corewell Health, Ludington Hospital, and Gerber Hospital there in Fremont this morning. And it's good to have you back in the studio here. Summertime, we have kind of made it through a pandemic, which is good. And I always ask this question to you as we talk. And how is everybody doing healthcare wise? The staff and the nurses and everybody inside the hospital these days.
The staff overall are doing great, I'd say. Thanks for asking, by the way. They really are the ones doing the work every day, caring for our friends and family out there. And they're standing strong. Coming out of the pandemic is huge. Getting masks off. Everybody's happy about that, of course. But it's summer in the north, so everybody comes north. So we're busy. And I don't know that they feel a lot of reprieve right now, but at least we're not putting on that heavy garb to go in and out of rooms right now. So
absolutely,
we're very, very happy about that.
No, that's good. And we appreciate you coming in to talk about that and our big topic that we're talking about today with Gilbert. Gilbert, you are going to be putting on this gala event coming up in, 3 weeks from today?
3 weeks from today, August 4th. Yeah, we're really excited. Our Dare to Dream Gala. Okay. Yep.
And take us through, this isn't the first year for it, because over the next couple of minutes, we're going to be talking about the gala event, but we're going to be talking about the foundation in general. And I still wonder how many people know about the foundation. There's probably some people that will learn some information from our segment today and hopefully be able to contribute to the foundation as well. So my first question to you is, if you had to describe and define the foundation, what would you say?
Yeah, so I think it's one of those, we don't want to keep it the best kept secret here in town, Chris. So, our foundation here with Corewell Health, Ludington Hospital, we really are supporting all of our community, our patients, not just inside our four walls, but even all those community programs that we're doing out in the community with our Healthier Communities team. So we're really there to be the arm to help our docs and all of our physicians and also all of our patients that says, I need help. Mm-hmm. And what does that help look like? And so that's where the foundation comes in. And we're so fortunate here in Ludington and Mason County to have such great supporters that let us do that work.
And we see some of the projects, and we hear about some of the projects because we're just on the edge of some of the projects being started and built and perfected there. But do you mind just kind of letting people know about some of those projects that the foundation has done from the past, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I think we have a rich history with our foundation. One of the current projects that we're working on that was really helped through the foundation is we're building our new Crane Haven Cancer Care Center right here at the Ludington Hospital. So we're hoping for an early 2024 start there. Mm-hmm. And so we're just excited. And that's the type of things, the foundations, but we also have a tremendous cancer patient assistance fund. So that helps our patients when they have those during that scary time of your life, right? When you get a diagnosis like that, we're there to help families. We might be there to help them pay their gas bill, their electric bill. So that Cancer Patient Assistance Fund really helps with all that. And then what our beneficiary is for our gala this year is our mental and behavioral health services. Mm-hmm. So we know through the pandemic that's just something that's growing, continue to grow, the need for those services. So we have some programs here in Mason County that we want to shine some light on and make sure that the foundation's there to support all of our residents, but especially our kids and our community to make sure that they have those services.
And in the second part of our segment today, we want to talk about that beneficiary beneficiary of the gala event because I think that's so important. And you're right, the conversations that have come up in regards to that mental awareness, especially after the pandemic, it's more in the forefront of our eyes and what we hear out there, and obviously what our healthcare workers are dealing with. Drew, in regards to the foundation, what is that benefit when you, as the president of Corewell Ludington, when you and Gerber, when you look at the foundation, what's the big benefit that you see?
Yeah, the easy answer to that is always dollars that go into helping us accomplish the goals that we have to expand services and bring lots of good care to the community. However, when I look at it, I think the big benefit that I very much value is engagement with the community, knowing that the community has an interest in the hospital, interest in the care that we're bringing, enough that they give of their time and they give of their resources freely to have a say and to help us out and kind of guide us in how should we grow. It's a big touch point for that. It makes me very proud every single day when I think about the long legacy of giving we have in our community, and the community foundation's fantastic here. Our foundation is wonderful, always has been, and just the number of people who step up and want to contribute. And in a small town, that's the benefit of a small town. It's friends and family taking care of friends and family, and I think that the foundation for me is it just capitalizes that.
And Gilbert, this is a long line of, and we use this word because I don't think many people know, volunteerism. The foundation goes back to 1906, and so it's been around for a long time. And it's not all these paid people that are working at a job. It is individuals that have stepped up into these roles. Take us through that little bit of history, if you don't mind, on that.
Yeah, and I think Drew said that perfectly. I think we wouldn't be able to do the work without our volunteers and our community members. I mean, they're really the advocates and the champions for us. But if you even think of the first hospital in Ludington, 1906, so we're talking over 100 years, that was volunteers, and it was all local women. So that wasn't anyone paid to bring a hospital to Ludington. And then, a year later, you have Justice Stearns and, donating a home so that we have the first hospital here in Ludington. So when you think about that over 100 years ago, and in today's context, that's pretty incredible work that someone said that's how much we need something like this in our community. And that's why we honor the Justice and Paulina Stearns Award every year, because we want to keep that rich history alive in everything we do, because without our community and without our volunteers and all of our advocates and champions out there, we wouldn't be able to do any of the work that we're doing. And
you work well with TWIG, the auxiliary at Ludington Hospital. Take us through that partnership, that relationship between cross groups, I guess it would be, right?
Yeah, so we have wonderful groups, and TWIG is one of them. So TWIG is Together We Inspire Generosity. So that's an auxiliary volunteer group that we have wonderful. I mean, they're over 70 strong in our community, and they put together events all year long just for the single fact of helping our hospital and the foundation work. So when you think of all that, and you think of 70 people coming together for a common cause, outside of our four walls with TWIG and all those in our volunteer board and our volunteers at the hospital, Drew will tell you too, and with how it's so critical to what we do, not just from a dollars, but just from a service standpoint, and our volunteers helping so much, especially when you talk about, our team members and coming out of the pandemic and all that. It's just having those volunteers doing out of the kindness of their heart is critical for everything we do.
Absolutely. Drew, I'm going to ask you a question. If the foundation wasn't here, and not for kind of a generic response, but I really want to just dive right in deep into this. If the foundation wasn't here, if TWIG wasn't here in the community, what would our hospital look like? What do you think?
Well, there's a few things we wouldn't have, for sure. I mean, I think back to things that they've done in the past and driven, actually, the change. Things like the Women's Imaging Center inside the hospital. It's a phenomenal space, and that was built by volunteers and by TWIG and Foundation. I think about when we built out the new, which is not new anymore, it's 10 years old, but the new emergency room. The volunteers donated the helipad that we have, which was like $150,000 at the time. Wow. So there's really significant dollars that they can raise. So they bring all these things, not to mention these people are also within the hospital. We see them every day, and that enriches so much what we do because, that volunteer base and having those different organizations that come in and do their meetings in the hospital for us is exciting because it just brings more people that we know we can count on to give us honest opinions and to help us if there's something that we want to change or tell us if there's something that we're missing because obviously we try to be an open book and we want people to tell us when things are right and when they're wrong. So that's an opportunity for that to happen. I think that the whole profile of the hospital would look entirely different without them.
For sure. We're talking with Drew Dostal, President, Corewell Health, Ludington, and Gerber Hospital in Fremont, as well as Gilbert Garcia, Foundation Director of Corewell Health Foundation. Gilbert, Drew brought up something important. It is the ear to the community, what is happening out there. How important, I mean, we see it from a business standpoint, like here at the radio station or a car dealership or a restaurant, that you get the feedback and reviews and information and that engagement. But how much does the foundation and the auxiliary and those, when they hear comments from the community, positive, negative as well, how is that important to what you do and moving forward with the hospital?
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Chris. For us, it's they're the ears of the community, like you said. So we want our volunteers, our donors, and all of those involved with the foundation to really be that voice for the hospital. So, being well informed, but that's where we want to be out in the community as much as possible. Drew, myself, and the rest of our team to, we're there. We want to hear the feedback. We want to be able to, help wherever we can. And I think having those, we have at the foundation a volunteer board, a foundation board. So when you talk about individuals that make up our community from all different backgrounds and industries, they all bring a different perspective and they hear different things in the community. So that gives us an opportunity to really take the feedback and hear it from different avenues. So I think it's critical. Plus, it also helps us then commit back our foundation work and make a priority of what are we hearing from our community, what's needed. So that's what we can focus on and help our community, whether that's through dollars or time or different things that we can do at the hospital.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because community hospital is so important. I mean, that relationship is crucially important because there's a trust factor there, right? Yeah. And so we appreciate both of you coming in because we want to dive into this next part, which is the involvement, that community involvement, and that's part of going to the Dare to Dream Gala event. It's Friday, August 4th at Lincoln Hills Golf Club. Semi-formal event. To take us through what we can expect, Gilbert. What does this night look like?
So first and foremost, it's fun, and it's a great night just to come together in our community to celebrate the work that's happening in our community through the hospital and the foundation. But this is the rich history. We're about 15 years into our gala, so it's even during the pandemic years, we found a way to do it in virtual and different things. But we're happy to be back together in person over at Lincoln Hills Golf Club on Friday, August 4th, and really, it's about the cause. And why are we there? So we have a great fun night. We have a beautiful theme with our Dare to Dream, but it's really about the cause. And this year with our mental and behavioral health. Every year we pick a different cause that's important to our community and to our patients at the hospital. And this year, like we talked about, the mental and behavioral health, we just see that continuing to grow. So that night is really about that. And it's about how we can continue to help our community here in Mason County, in our hospital and all of our patients, and specifically our kids in our community. I have a 14-year-old, and we know the pandemic and the phones and the social media world and all those things. So we want to make sure that we're there to help provide those services, not just maybe some of those physical cares that our great doctor team and physicians do over at the hospital, but also that mental and behavioral health piece. So that's what we're excited about for that evening.
And Drew, and we're going to be talking about the award here in a moment that you mentioned just a few moments ago, the menu, all of that. But as Gilbert had mentioned, this is benefiting the resources that Corewell Health can give back to the community in regards to mental health. What are we dealing with out there since the pandemic? Currently, what is the situation like?
Well, in the last 5 years or so, as things have changed in society and also with the pandemic coming on, and the pandemic was the big springboard for this, honestly, we've seen behavioral health issues become the one of the leading problems that we're dealing with. In our family medicine offices, about 30% of our business is behavioral health. It's not, it's not necessarily physical care. It's behavioral health. So that's significant. And if people go untreated, and if it's hard to get in or be seen, they end up in the emergency department in crisis. And we don't want that, obviously. We want people to manage all processes, whether it's diabetes, diverticulitis, or behavioral health. We want to be able to help manage that safely so that you don't end up coming there, when things are really bad, and then you have to play catch up. And that's harder on everybody, whether it's physically or mentally or spiritually. Catch up is hard, and we know that.
And a lot of times, people don't have to necessarily even come to the hospital for this. You're working more and more with schools and other institutions, right?
That's right. And in the schools, Mason County Central has become really the shining beacon for our system, has realized what a great program this is. We have the ability to see kids who need some help on the behavioral health front. And it's grown by leaps and bounds already. It started off modest, and now it's already up and running. And frankly, I think they would love it if we were there full time. So probably headed that direction. And it just speaks to the wellness needs for the kids, to keep them healthy and active and educated and working on the things that they love to do besides dealing with these problems.
Because Gilbert, it's not just that stereotype that we somehow think that it's just those that are in poverty that might be suffering the most. But we want to make sure that they get the benefits of what you do. But it is any social and economic and every race and gender out there. It's just everybody can be affected by stressors, mental issues. And this is where the gala comes into play, the foundation comes into play, because you can actually say that the $175 ticket that you purchased for this gala, that those funds are going to go towards the resources that people that might not have insurance or might not have the ability to address that, and then they're continuing to live their life with these issues, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, I think one of the important things to know is our gala, all those dollars stay right here local. So every dollar that we raise stays right here in our local community to help our local families. And when Drew mentioned a program like Mason County Central, you talk about those stressors, and, we have many students that are taking opportunities to spend an hour of their day talking to one of our professionals right there at the school, and they don't have to leave school, they don't have to miss a day of school, they don't have to travel for those services. So we're bringing those services right here to our local community. So I think that's the piece that we want to make sure that we can expand that service. As Drew said, that's just a growing need. So the benefit of our gala for the Dare to Dream will go exactly for all those type of programs, so that we can keep those dollars right here, so our families can stay right here for their service.
Absolutely. And from the Justice and Paulina Stearns Legacy Award that night, there's some other awards as well that evening.
Yeah, so we do a recognition, and this year we are recognizing Mason County Central for their being a champion and an advocate in our community and hosting that program that we do with our telemedicine program. And then every year we have a new per honoree that we honor for our Justice and Paulina Stearns Legacy Award, that goes back to that rich history that we talked about. And we're really excited for this year's honoree. Yeah.
Which is Bobby, right? Bobby
Severance Roach. Yeah. Okay. So Bobby, when we talked about TWIG, Volunteer Foundation Board, so all those different things we talked about, Bobby's involved with all of them. So when you talk about someone that's really putting their time and talent into everything that we do at the hospital. She's at the gift shop weekly, so many of our local community knows her, but she's our president of our volunteer board. She's a leader of our TWIG, and she serves on our foundation board. So when you think about someone like Bobby that really is there for the community, that's what she's there. So we want to honor those individuals, and we're honored to have her this year as the Justice and Paulina Stearns Award winner.
Sounds like she's very well deserving.
She is.
From dancing to the dinner, lots of tasteful options there. The semi-formal attire, just a good way to just gather and celebrate moving forward and helping others. I think that's pretty powerful in itself. Gilbert, did we forget anything other than the website, which we have linked on our Facebook pages and our YouTube channel. But anything that we missed talking about this morning?
No, I appreciate you having us. I think, again, we gather tonight for a fun night, but it's really about the cause. And we want to make sure that people understand and our community understands that this is to help provide services and to keep those services local here with our mental and behavioral health. So we're looking for a fun evening, so it should be a great time over at Lincoln Hills on Friday, August 4th. You have that website linked, which we appreciate. Still have sponsorship and tickets remaining, so please feel free to jump on there today, and would love to see the whole community come up on Friday, August 4th.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
And for our radio listeners and smart device listeners right now, ludingtongala.givesmart.com. That is that website. And again, you can click on that link on our social media pages too. Drew, same question as we wrap up this morning. Anything that we missed about the gala event or just general mental issues here in the communities that we serve?
No, I appreciate that. I think it was well covered. We're here to do what we can, so I'm hoping that our friends and family all come out and support the gala, and it'll be a fun event, as Gilbert said. They always are, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Appreciate both of you coming in. Drew Dostal, President, Corewell Health, Ludington, and as well of Gerber Hospital, and Gilbert Garcia, Foundation Director. We appreciate the two of you coming in this morning.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having us.
Stand by for a moment. 9:05 here. News, weather coming your way in just a matter of seconds. Stick around on both Hot Country Hits 99.9 and 102.7 WMOM. As we release our country station, and we'll stick around here on Mom FM for just a moment. All right, it is 102.7 WMOM, and don't forget these segments every other week here on Mom FM. You can hear this, and if you ever have any questions or thoughts that you would like us to explore, certainly reach out to us. We would love to be able to reach into that. It is 9:05. Let's release 102.7 Mom FM for news and weather. That starts right now.
Thanks for making us number one. I'm proud to be awarded the Small Business of the Year by the Ludington and Scottville Chamber of Commerce. Your